Well, stick them up, partner. Good morning, Dima.
Hello.
I could tell by the look on your face you were a little surprised.
Yeah, I'm a little happy too.
You might need to go to the dentist when they open back up, though.
No, it's clean. It's clean.
Well, look, I was going to start the show, but I'm actually heading off to the bank. I got to make a withdrawal. So I'll just see you later.
Okay, bye. Good luck.
It's not fun unless we bring some friends on. We have a great guest today, right?
Yes, amazing.
Amazing guest.
Let's bring Mary.
Let's bring Mary in. Y'all should have been ready for this. We had an amazing time backstage. And oh, Mary, what? Something different about you. Have you been losing weight?
Well, I've been working on my little COVID mustachio.
It's not Movember yet.
No, but I've seen it.
That thing looks really good.
Yeah, it's my little homage to Sherlock Holmes.
Was that elementary to make, or what was that? That looks incredibly fine.
It was elementary to make.
Well, you're going to have to share your knowledge.
Sure.
Wait, look, guys, I'll be right back. I got to mask up again for something. There's something else I got to do here. So,
okay.
Okay. All right, I'm back.
There he is. Quick, Jane.
Woo!
Good. Mary, show us your other mask, the one that matches.
You had something going on there.
I will. Let me.
Is that one of your 36 pieces of flair?
Yes. So this one matches my ensemble.
Look at this.
But if I feel in the mood for a little something different, I could go old school.
Oh my goodness.
Change my nose.
You just changed it.
Yeah.
That is ingenious.
But when we do start bringing everyone back in the building, we're ready for this.
Wow.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Did you make that?
This one came from a company. All the others I just made with scraps at my house or like a leftover t-shirt. Yeah. And you can even use the t-shirt body to make all your straps, because that's, to me, the hardest part. Finding the rest of the elastic or shoelaces or strings or binding tape or whatever. But when you cut up the t-shirt, the Maker Faire, we did something on fashion a year ago, and LSU Textile Museum came out and they brought some old unused t-shirts that were like size ginormous and used them for textile projects. So when you cut up the bands, I learned that it makes wonderful strapping. So I have quite a collection at my house.
It's hilarious because I think now with promotional items, when you go to events, they're going to give you a mask with their logo on it.
That's right. I had already ordered some sanitizing spray that came with our logo before all this happened. But the important thing for us first is to get the staff masked up. And they can, with their cloth masks, they can decorate them however they want, just like your teeth, Dima. I think I would like to black one of the teeth out, but and share the love with our dentist. Okay, and the tricolor is good too, Rob. I'm liking that. The manly bandana, the Westero Desperado look is excellent. So in fact, it's one of the little things that we're doing remotely to encourage people to stay creative and kind of don't stay in your head. We're doing a little promotion called Gear Up and Go, hashtag Gear Up and GEAUX for mask couture. So whether it's kids with a regular mask and some felt lips, or this one, that Nacho Libre, that was my attempt at that. Or something very dainty, if somebody wants to go very dainty.
I love it.
We want you to show off your work and post it on the library's Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram, and we'll start collecting all those. In fact, we're collecting lots of things that our community friends have been doing. We're collecting them in the archives because that's one of the things we do. So we have something called Red Stick at Home, where we're collecting the images that you did as you were chalking the walk, or as you were doing your front porch quilt shows, or the front porch photography, or from your music concert that you did in the lawn for your neighbors across the street. We're also collecting things like the driving tours and people's little time capsules at their house that they're doing. And then on a more serious note, people's journals or their poems. There's a lot of poetry. There's a lot of art coming out of this. I know you've seen it at the art gallery, at the Flat Curve Gallery.
Yes.
We want to collect all that because, 5 years from now, we want to make sure we have it all safely packaged. And 10 years from now, 20 years from now, this is a defining moment in our history. And we want to make sure that we collect it, the good and the bad, so that we have something to look back on and work with as things change. And they will change. I'm an optimist. It's going to get better and better and better, and we just have to work through it. So allowing people an opportunity to do something a little bit different, use a different part of their brain maybe than they're used to, be a little creative or silly, a lot of silly, that's healthy. And then let's document it and then preserve it and then ultimately share it.
Yeah.
I love that, because I heard something so special last week that a friend of mine, Kenny Wynn, had said. He said, if you're not creating, you should be documenting. And I love that. I love that concept. And the other thing about, just creating or even documenting in general, don't care about the audience. Let the audience decide what they want to pick. But that shouldn't stop you from documenting or creating. So I'm so glad you said that. And let's talk about the silly too, because you bring so much life to the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, Mary. I remember the first, I met you before I actually met you. I remember seeing you in the library, and you were like this, like this force of nature, and you had this vibe around you as you're walking around like you own the place. And then I actually got to meet you, and you are the library. The library is you. And I love the silly that you bring to it. You do the book faces, right?
Yeah. I love that.
You're involved with the Maker Fair out there. There's so much that you do. And we've got to bring some awareness to the amazing resources that we have right here off of Goodwood.
That's right. And all the resources are not necessarily things that you have to come inside the library to use.
Yeah.
We love that and we miss that. But the digital library is always open.
Now talk about that, because I posted something last night, and I hope people realize this on the show. You can get your library card right now on this show going online. Is that correct still?
That is absolutely right. So we had a way to do little digital cards before the pandemic. And the little digital card would be good for, quick, I need a magazine article or I need a little research or whatever. But it didn't let you into our premium platforms of the Libby app, or RB Digital, which is where the rest of the audiobooks live, or some of the other fancy things, the things that are more entertaining. Those you had to do a little something extra, which is get a real library card. Well, you can't come to the library right now to get a real library card. So if you don't have your real library card, you haven't found it, you didn't dig it out of the extra wallet or the old purse, you can call our staff. We're in the building from 10 to 2 answering the circulation telephone number, which is 225-231-3740. And we are giving you over the telephone a computer use only card number. Ron, when you can come back into the building, we'll step that up to a real card that you can actually check out stuff with.
That's awesome.
We haven't gotten rid of any of the stuff. It's just kind of locked up in quarantine right now. But with a digital library card, you can get at Overdrive, which is ebooks. It includes audiobooks. It has streaming media. The Overdrive screening room includes TV shows, movies, etc. We have RB Digital, which is audiobooks, but also includes online magazines. Indie Flicks, which is independent films and documentaries. If you want to practice your Spanish skills, you can watch telenovelas till the cows come home in Pongolo. And then we have Canopy, which is thoughtful entertainment, but it's streaming media, it's movies, it's documentaries. If you didn't get to the Sundance Film Festival, it's okay, it's in there. And all you need is your real East Baton Rouge Parish Library card. So if you don't have that plastic card, call us every day till 2 o'clock. And then by next week, hopefully it'll be every day till 8 o'clock. It just depends on what happens with the stay-at-home order. But 231-3740 is that phone number. And it's all posted on the front of the library's web page, the website, EBRPL.com. Just stands for East Baton Rouge Parish Library.com. We have the hours that we're answering the phone, the different phone numbers. And y'all, once you get your library card, there's so much in the digital library that is overwhelming. So the reference staff is answering their phone number, and they are taking the time. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes. Sometimes they're spending 40 minutes on the phone with patrons who are new to digital. Every day I've been talking to one gentleman who's working his way through the digital library and trying a new product. Every day he calls me and says, well, what's this about IndieFlix? And now I'm ready to try Canopy. And then I'm reading in Spanish soon. He's going to be learning a language, I think, next week. We're going to be stepping him through. I can't wait to get him into Brain HQ, which is games.
Nice. You have games?
Adults.
You have games?
Just like that Luminosity.
Are you serious?
We have one for that is free to you. It's called Brain HQ. Teenagers could use it, of course, but it's really designed for adults to keep that brain plastic and engaged. And you can, once you get your own little personal account, it watches you if you tell it to, and tells you how you're doing, whether you're working on concentration, maybe you're working on memory, maybe you're working on quick response, but in a game format, because we all know that we often learn better through stealth learning, which is through gaming.
Wow.
So that's cool. We have people who are learning languages at home at the dinner table with Muzzy for the little kids, Mango languages for the rest of the family, or Pronunciator. And then once one lesson a day, or a lesson in the morning, lesson in the afternoon, you'll be speaking any of 60 languages like that. and if you are somebody that wanted to travel eventually, this would be great. If you're somebody that wants to work on your skills so that you are a more marketable package, this is great for someone in the workforce. If you're someone who wants to work on customer service, and you know that a lot of your clients speak a language other than English, here's a great opportunity for you to make more of a connection when people cross your path, either digitally, on the telephone, or in person, because it's going to happen. People are going to be coming back to say, hola, ¿cómo estás? We missed you, or konnichiwa, or whatever. And we have that whole suite of language learning. We have, of course, fun things for little kids. You can't just park your kid in front of YouTube. Well, you can, but you probably shouldn't. So, and if you have more than one child in the family, they can't all do the same things at the same time, unless they're all learning languages. But we have Miss Humblebee's Academy for the little kids. We have Early World of Learning, which is games for the little kids. Of course, it's thoughtful games. Again, stealth learning. We sneak concepts, ABCs, the idea of time, the idea of logic sequencing, all that's snuck into these online games in Miss Humblebee's and Early World of Learning. We also have Disney, we have Sesame Street, of course, that whole gamut for the little kids. And then by the time they're independent readers, Of course, we have ebooks for kids. Of course, we have books that make noise and talk while the words are going across the screen.
Oh, wow.
That's really good for reluctant readers and early readers because it marries up the sound with the sight of as they're kind of sounding out words with phonics. It kind of shows them what that is, and that's way beyond Overdrive and RB Digital. There's a whole package of things. And again, there's so much that we tried to parse it, package it. And on the kids' Facebook, on the kids' page on the website, we went ahead and put little colorful images of what the basics were for the kids, because depending on whether you're doing, maybe you have a reluctant reader that only wants to read about predators. Okay, we've got that. We've got somebody that just wants to do stuff. We've got that. We've got crafting things for kids. Maybe you have a socially conscious kid. We've got that. We can get you through history, biography, science, and math, y'all. With the schools taking place in your kitchen and on your kitchen table, we have a lot of parents who are maybe a little more afraid of math than they should be. And Tumble Math has had over 150,000 hits just in 1 month alone. As I don't know whether it's the parents logging in or the kids logging in for help with that, and then the online tutoring, because it's till midnight, from noon till midnight every day.
What?
Really stuck. There's a human at the end of the computer.
Oh.
No
Are you
judgment.
serious?
You say you're in 4th grade math, they'll hook you up with a 4th grade math teacher, and it's a master teacher. It's not me.
Wow.
You say you're working on your 7th grade science project and it's life sciences, they'll find you someone in the United States. There's a teacher sitting by a computer waiting for a call. So that's taking place all the time. These are products that we've had for years, but they're really coming into their own during the stay-at-home order because it's kind of like, here's our way. We know that you have 100,000 books checked out right now, but once you've read all those, you need something fresh. So I see the web page right there.
Yes, you've got to talk about this, Mary. And I don't mean to stop you, but this is there. I don't think we could even possibly remember a third of all the resources that are out there that you have just like exposed and brought awareness to. I want to question everybody that's watching. We got about 12, 13 people watching right now just on Facebook. And so I want you to make a comment and tell us if you knew those resources were at the library. I would like to know if you knew that they were there or didn't know if they were there. And then which one sounded like the one you're going to use next, because holy cow, that was incredible, Mary.
Wow.
You said some of these were, available digitally. I had to bring up the webpage. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can you kind of roll through some of this?
Sure. Well, first of all, on the far right of the webpage, you see that little blue box that says the far right.
Is it tutorials? Is it tutorials or?
Yes. The tutorials, when you click that link, you'll see a little video for some of our favorite databases, like Ancestry. I will see things like, with my tiny little eyes, Culturegrams for kids, Flipster, which is magazines.
Wow.
Serious things like Reference USA, which is business intelligence.
Ooh, that's really good one. Can I talk about that one for a second?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Friend of mine, John Davis, comes to me and says, man, I got this amazing tool. You'll never believe it. It gives you all the information and data. Like every business owner should have this and know about this. And I'm like, dude, how much that cost? He goes, you got a library card? What? You got a library card? It's free. It's at the library. You can get to it right now. What? I went online. I was like, holy cow, I got to check this out. You go there, you can go through and basically pull so much data from companies around the world. You can make it really granular. Oh my goodness. If you sell, if you need any business contacts or need to find someone in your industry or even someone that you want to sell to, amazing resource with Reference USA. So glad you said that. Keep going.
Wow.
So it's good, and it has some friends, and again, there's so much there that if you call the reference desk between 10 and 2 every day and say what it is you're trying to do, we'll get you into the right box, as it were, the right package, the right toolbox.
Okay.
But with this tutorials list, some of our favorites are there, and it's little video tutorials. You don't even have to get any further than clicking it on. And it kind of tells you what to expect in that little database. Like there's RB Digital, which, you know, mind blown. It's got print, it's got magazines, it's got audio, it's got things that you wouldn't even imagine in there. And the RB Digital little tutorial kind of sets you up the same way our staff will walk you through things minute by minute. We'll be on the computer with you and say, click there. Now you see something over to the far right, click that and set up your little account for that platform. Often you do have to set up a personal account with the platform, and that's so that it remembers where you are. Like with Overdrive, I use Libby, the One Tap app, and
Yes.
that anytime a new book is ready for me, I just click it and go, and I don't have to even log in again. I just have to get there. There are apps for lots of these products. So the tutorials thing is like tutorials and trailers, book teasers, but in the middle of the screen where you see the tabs above the little red box, if you can kind of go up a little bit.
Oh, that's nice. I love your website. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're up here.
All those little tabs. The info guides are things like little curated little packages that our staff put together to talk about different things. So there's one just for the COVID virus, of course. There's things for genealogy and archives that are being used a lot right now. And then there's info guides for various tools. Like there's an info guide that's talking about Creative Bug, which is one of our favorite fun things to use right now because it's wonderful curated video how-tos for everything in crafting, from sewing to woodwork. It has things for kids, parents, whatever. But these info guides kind of, if you can't talk to us, get you through a lot of the resources that the library has, whether it's print resources or digital resources. Sometimes there's a little video attached to it. Sometimes there's touchy-feely stuff. But that's a good resource for you to check in on. The actual digital stuff lives in the digital library. That makes sense. And that's the tab right in the middle at the very top.
Okay.
And I will say,
library right here at the top.
yeah, the landing page is not special. If you're just looking for entertainment, go to the big yellow box.
Boo!
and then some of our favorites show up there: the RB Digital, the Overdrive, Canopy, IndieFlix, Mango Languages. Those are our favorite ones, but there's a whole list there. And if you had your library card ready and clicked one, you'd get right. The library card is the admission. It's your all access pass. So you'd have to have that ready, click in. And if it's the kind of thing where you have to build a little account, you do that first. And then you start viewing, reading, streaming, downloading, whatever. Freegal, you can even download 7 tunes a week. That way you can practice, you can explore some genres you wouldn't normally spend some money on. That's what my son says. Well, it's really good for me to check out all those indies. If we know many need change hands, he can try a few and say, it's not for me. Those are streaming or downloadable. It just kind of depends on the platform, whether you're streaming it or you actually download it onto your own device.
There's so much here, Mary.
It is there. There is an A
fast
in that digital library. Again, there's a subject list where you say, I'm looking for business up at the see by subject, right?
Oh, by subject, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Business, homework, because again,
computers and IT, genealogy.
Yeah, genealogy is so hot right now, y'all. And it's always pretty hot. People in Baton Rouge really
so hot right now,
looking for this. And the thing is, right now, you're at home, you're with your family on the telephone with very intense Zoom calls or Skypes or whatever. And now's a good time to get some of those family stories, archive them, document them. But if you want to work on that family tree, we always had some tools that you could use from home, even on your phone, Heritage Quest and Fold3 and a few others. But Ancestry, which is kind of like the gold standard, you had to use in the building unless you paid for a personal account. Paid. Well, during the pandemic, our friends at Ancestry said, okay, y'all, we know that the people can't come into the library temporarily. So they opened up the vault, basically, and you can actually do Ancestry from home for a temporary period.
Wow.
You know, get typing, fill up the leaves on that family. And that info guide for genealogy gives you a little bit of how to, and because it can be overwhelming. There's so much there. And we have human beings at the end of the telephone, and they will help you.
I'm overwhelmed, but it's amazing. Good overwhelmed. Good overwhelmed.
Yeah, some mindfulness and meditation that we can take after this.
Calm down. That's amazing. Wow.
Well, we actually have a question. So someone says, is digital access available for those who do not live in EBR? That's actually a really good question.
That is. So if you work in EBR or go to school here, own property here, or live here, you are, of course, entitled to an East Baton Rouge Parish Library card.
Wow.
Little
That's very generous. That's very generous.
You know, we figure if you're working here, even if you don't live here, we're seeing a lot of you. And
look, what if they stopped off at the Chimes East or, decide to go downtown? Is that okay too? Can they?
That is okay because they're spending money in Baton Rouge, which means sales tax for the city parish government.
There you go. Oh, man.
That's amazing. So, Mary.
From a surrounding parish, we can work out something. And then the surrounding parishes do have digital products too. They may be different from us. In some cases, we have the same homework help. We have some of the same language programs. We have some of the same newspaper kind of magazine programs. And then just like with books, we all have our own collections. But we like to share.
I love it. That's amazing. Wow. I know I'm going to go back and re-listen to the whole show, because there's no way to absorb all this wonderful information.
Well,
so, Mary,
the new newsletter for May, because we did publish a newsletter for May.
Okay.
It's all about digital products, no programs. And this newsletter can be clicked on the homepage under the word The Source, which is kind of over on the right-hand side. And you can see the whole digital newspaper, and it's nothing but information, little teasers and commercials, basically, about some of these digital products, the most important ones. It also includes the schedule of the virtual programs that we've already got started. They've been down there in the children's room recording story times for stuffed animals. We've been doing bedtime story times. I've done quite a few myself. We've been reading the first chapters of books. We've been doing book teasers for teenagers. They've been doing tech talks, and we're starting to figure out how to schedule those as an event on Facebook and on our online calendar. And by the time June gets here, there's going to be one virtual program a day for children, plus links to wonderful resources here in the Baton Rouge community, because there's a lot of things, even if you can't go into the museum is pushing stuff out. Maybe you can't go into the USS Kid, but there's a virtual tour. There are a lot of things that we'd like to connect, and again, amp up that red stick at home, summer staycation. There's a lot to do here, even if you can't go into a building. And then as phase 1, phase 2 starts to play out, those the restrictions will lift, and we'll be able to do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And we want to be right there with you, encouraging you to explore Baton Rouge. That's another one. # explore Baton Rouge.
That's amazing. Well, I want to also touch on a point that is so amazing as well, that you're offering internet in the parking lot at the library. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that, because I think it is so important, especially for individuals that don't have internet, and they wouldn't be able to access all of these amazing resources.
That's right. There are actually people who come to the main library parking lot, because I see their cars every day, to either do their homework or their jobs, because they didn't have the robust internet at their home, or perhaps no internet at their home. And they're sitting out there in the parking lots at all 14 locations.
Excuse
River
me.
Center is not a parking lot, it's the plaza underneath. There are people there using the River Center every day,
Wow.
even though they're not going in. So it's thousands of uses a month since March.
Wow.
From 8 in the morning till 8 at night. We just turn it on and turn it off at the same time every day, including Saturday and Sunday. And it's a nice, robust internet. And that allows you, again, to connect with the world when you can't physically connect. So whether you're going to be using our resources or you need it for any other purpose, we don't care. We don't judge. It's out there. Stream it.
Mary, I had a question for you, because that's amazing too. I saw pictures of people working in the parking lot. You know, they just pop open the hatchback and, you know, sit back there with a laptop on their knees. And I thought that was really, really unique. You don't see that all the time and everywhere, but the fact that you welcome that is great. My question is, what should, you know, about the library, what should people not assume about the library?
Well, people should not assume that it's like your grandfather's library. That's the number one thing. A lot of adults had just one vision of the library, and it was the vision that was connected to homework.
That's where it was for me.
That's just this much of what we do. Most of the resources we secure are for adults. They're for working adults, retired adults, adults who wish they were working. Most of the programming that we do for adults has to do with building yourself up, skills development, career center, all that. I can't wait until we start producing the career workshops that we usually do in person. Where they spend endless hours working with clients, building their resumes, helping them figure out what's the best job field for them, working on their presentations for their interviews. We have job clubs, we do job fairs. It's kind of hard to do that without you here in person. So that's what the overused word of the year is pivot, but that's what the Career Center staff is trying to do, figure out how they're going to use Google Classrooms to deliver these products for where it's not just the talking head, but the stuff is behind me in the classroom and gettable from wherever I am. So the number one thing people should understand is we are not your grandfather's library. We have books. Please don't forget, we love books. We're not giving up the books, but it's so much more than books.
So if you're not, if I shouldn't assume that it's, you know, not the library of the past and it's not all books, is it, do you just say it's information? Do you just say it's knowledge? Like what, because you're connecting so many things. What is it now?
It's discovery.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Because maybe you're discovering through print, maybe you're discovering through a live event, maybe you're discovering through something with our making, our STEM and STEAM workshops, which of course we started mostly for the kids because that's where you start and then you grow them up. But now we have adults who are starting to make. Our own staff has been making things since since March. We've been making PPE. Working with some other members of the business community, Louisiana Technology Park, the Baton Rouge Area Chamber, and some wonderful private entrepreneurs in the community. And we've been making the face guards, the shields, the plastic with some of the 3D printers. Because we've had 3D printers for years. And in fact, we had some in the box ready to go to the new River Center branch. Well, crack those boxes open and we have a little little factory set up down in the teen services department here at the main library, where they're printing out the headbands for the mask. We have the punching stations. We also printed widgets for the seamstresses who were making the cloth masks, because they needed a widget to make bias tape easier. So we printed those out. So, doing a little of that. But that's just an idea of the kinds of discovery you can do here. Whether you're building your own capacity in this STEM world, or you're working with your kids, working with your grandparents, experiences and discovery is the root of it all. And in the old days, we started with books, and then we added the humans, and now we're adding technology. But
what's one thing you couldn't live without at the library?
The one thing I couldn't live without at the library, oh man, I really miss the meetings. I miss having programs. I personally can read books on my Libby app, and I can listen to them. I have content. I'm getting little happy things from the business resources that we have. Excel 5 sends me a little podcast every week that's the programs and the meetings, because that's where the people are. And the library really is. We have nice buildings that are designed to accommodate experiences and discovery, but I miss the people in the building, and we can't wait to phase that. That'll be phase 2 for us, letting people back in.
Gotcha.
Will be where we start opening the pickup window, because we have some drive-through pickup windows, and then we'll do a call ahead kind of lobby pickup at the branches that don't have the windows. So we'll start that and see how that goes. There's one thing that's a little different with libraries than a grocery store. When you go to the grocery store, you're getting something off the shelf, you're taking it home, and you're never bringing it back. When you bring those cans into your house, you can leave them in your pantry for 3 days and let them quarantine themselves. You can wipe off the milk carton or whatever. But when you check out our books and our DVDs or our Arduino kits or even the telescope, you got to bring that back sometime. And when you bring it back, we're going to have to quarantine it. So that creates a little logistical bump in our reopening phase that a regular business will not have.
Right.
So meeting rooms will be used for quarantine rooms for some time. And also a meeting room that used to hold 25 people, maybe it'll just have 4 people in it. Maybe it'll have 8. It just depends on those ratios that the medical guidance with. Right now, we're planning for 25%. When the computers open up again for the computer commons for people to come in and use inside, will be half or less that are up. We've just taken the chairs off the floor. With the little kids, we just unplugged the keyboards.
Wow.
So, everybody's thinking about this. We're not alone. We'll get through this together.
It's gonna take a while, and it sounds like you have a plan for the whole process, different phases. So that's wonderful.
We do, and of course, a plan never survives engagement with the enemy. But we have a plan, in fact, listed on page 2 and 3 of the new newsletter that you can get on the website EBRPL.com. But I want to just assure our patrons who are getting increasingly antsy that we're still here for you, and we can't wait to welcome you back in, but we have to do it carefully and strategically. We'll be wearing masks, which is, we're social places. We like to smile to our patrons. You won't be able to tell. Yes, I know. So we'll be drawing those happy faces, mine with a tooth out probably. We love our little kids love to come and hug us. We're going to have to step back on those things. We like to be right next to you, helping you use a computer. We're going to have to step back from that. So we're all figuring new ways. It's a new mindset we're going to have to get in, and we just want to welcome our patrons back as slowly, carefully, and in a healthful way.
Mary, I gotta say something. This one thing I didn't realize was how, I mean, of course you see it with all the resources and the programming and all the information and stuff you have there. But I love that you keep saying that it's that personal connection, because I don't know that people feel a personal connection to the library. But what I'm seeing is you can't not have a personal connection with these resources and everything you're just allowing people to discover and be curious about there. So, and I remember the day that the main branch, the Goodwood Library, made a difference for me was when you showed me the rooftop terrace.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I didn't know I was in Baton Rouge. I thought we were in some progressive looking space, and looking at all this, and I just could not believe that I was right there off of Goodwood, and I just came from a library, or I'm still here. And you host events in that space, and you've done so many amazing things. There's just, I think we need to bring not only that personal connection back after all this pandemic stuff, but everyone should have a personal connection to the library. That's what I'm seeing.
I think so too.
For a lot of people, Mary.
We had the Breaking Bases book signing event.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That was it. That was it.
Yeah. So the downtown library, when we can finally open that up, we're waiting for the last delayed furniture deliveries, because of course we were winding down the construction, working on the punch list, getting those last furniture deliveries and the last equipment installed when stay-at-home orders took place, not only here, but where our trucks were filled with furniture up in the Northeast. So we're still waiting for a few things, but they have a pickup window. So even before you can go in, you'll be able to get some service there once we get to that level. And I just cannot wait to take y'all through the River Center branch, because again, everything that we learned from previous builds, we applied here to the main library. And whatever is good from previous builds, whether it's here in Baton Rouge or anywhere, we tried to apply. And if we screwed something up, we got rid of that thing. So that's why you see things like the books shelves with the wheels and tables for 2 instead of 4, where you waste 2 seats. You see laptop bars, you see plugs where you can plug the phone, the USB plug directly into the power, and you don't need an adapter. Simple like that, but also more psychological things that you learn from retail business. So everything that was good at Main, we tried to cram into River Center. Of course, it's a much smaller building, though it has commanding presence on the plaza. The 4th floor will be where the meeting rooms take place, and there's a rooftop terrace there too that anyone will be able to go to unless the weather's storming down. And the other floors are just filled with places for people to be, to connect, to experience, whether they're discovering something on their own or they're working on the maker space. There's a media studio where that could be the next podcast studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or the kids could be laying down the music for their film projects. There's computer labs, of course. The maker space will, once we give back their 3D printers, they'll have a CNC, they'll have a laser cutter.
A CNC machine?
Oh, I know.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
At the library?
Yeah, it's as well as the laser cutter and crickets. We'll have button makers. We'll have sewing things. We'll have things to fix your bike. We'll have the kind of things that we show off at the Maker Fair, where and some of it's very high tech, like a CNC, but some of it's very low tech, like a t-shirt screener or a button maker, which, whether you had a group of scouts or you were planning your family reunion, that could come in pretty handy.
Wow.
You don't need to have one of them your own. You just need to use it once every 5 years or so. So the same way people have been sending us 3D prints for years and years and years, more than 7 years, we'll have that available for you to do a little bit closer. Just like with the Arduino kits and the telescope that you can actually check out. These will be things that you don't check out, but you badge in your level of expertise so that you then be authorized to use the equipment.
Wow. Wow. Well, you make library cool.
It is cool.
From everywhere I lived, it's never like this. Absolutely
like this.
never. So you get us all excited. And I love every time I go to the main library and I see you there, you're smiling, you're like amazing energy. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. It is so impressive. And it just feels as if the libraries you're creating, as if they are in like New York City or in some of these big cities. And we're fortunate to have it in our city.
And it's strictly because our patrons asked us to do these things. And there was that 10-year dedicated tax in 1986, believe it or not, and every 10 years after that. And that gives us the stability to plan and execute the things and maintain them, not just build them and walk away, but to maintain them. So it's thanks to our patrons, and our patrons are using us. And when it's easy to smile when you believe in your product.
Yes, I love it.
And when you have a great team, right?
We do. We have a wonderful team. The maker men, the children, the teen tech staff, all that. There are a lot of people working behind the scenes, and like I said, we just can't wait to get our patrons back physically. We know they're visiting us digitally because I can see the statistics, but
there you go.
That is so great. Well, thank you for chit-chatting with us today.
It
was wonderful. This was really, really good. And I can't wait to go check out all of the resources you talked about.
You bet.
Love that. Thank you so much for being on, Mary. And look, this is just a quick reminder. We have amazing people on this show, like Mary, amazing resources that they give us and allow us and expose and advocate for, like the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. We couldn't do this without sort of a growing base of people that can also share the love and the knowledge. So right now at the bottom, Chit Chat Live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. We're going to be coming at you with amazing people like Mary that bring the positive things into life in our backyards, off of Goodwood or just in East Baton Rouge Parish. And this is something where we are honored to have this show running, but we are also looking for more people to be on the show and looking for more people to share the love. So do that down there. And one last plug for the website, call that number, okay? Unlock all those benefits to that digital library card.
All right.
Okay, there we go. Picture. Thank you so much, Mary. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here we go.